Am I live on YouTube? I'm gonna say yes. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the video today. We are going to get straight into it. You already know her face from the thumbnail, but I have a few nice things to say about her. This woman I am bringing up is a daring downhill skier, a coffee lover, a curious seeker, a rebel with a cause. Don't want to mess that up. And is schooled in classic metaphysics. She has over 10 years of experience helping her clients transform their lives and achieve personal greatness. She is a life alignment guide. She is Cheap Bro Sam.
Woo! Hello there. What a great introduction. That is the best introduction. I love that you got my coffee and skiing in there.
Yeah. One day we'll have to do a talk because I started matcha with me's. Everybody says like coffee with so-and-so and cup of coffee with. I don't drink coffee. I do matcha. Yeah. So one day we'll have to.
I think matcha with me is a groundbreaking, rebellious idea, and you should go with it.
Thank you. So, Sam, okay, how was your first New Year's? There's 2 New Year's. How was your first one?
Well, we're going to jump. There's 3. So the first one, because the first one that everyone's saying, well, I've had Chinese New Year was January 1st. That's the Gregorian New Year that people think. But Chinese New Year, as you and I know, is happening right now. So there are 2 Chinese New Years. And what it is, one is lunar and one is solar. So the one we're all familiar with is Lunar New Year. This is the dragon dances. This is the firecrackers. This is all the celebrations, the food, the parties. And this is to do with the moon. So it's the second new moon after the winter solstice. So this year, it's February 1st. But Solar New Year is different. Solar New Year runs on the first day of spring called Li Chun. First day of spring this year is February 4th. So the lunar and solar New Years move slightly every year. So it's okay that people don't know when it is, but that's when they are in 2022. So they're happening within 4 days of each other. Very unique.
Yeah.
Very unique. Yeah.
So think of all these self-development, personal development coaches that are like, you don't stick with your Chinese New Year. Or your New Year's resolution. You get like 3 different opportunities.
You do. So the way I look at that, because I'm not a massive New Year resolution fan, but I do pick a word for the year. I'll share that in a minute. Oh, yes. And I highly advise you do. And it will be something that resonates with you. So I watch everyone around January 1st with the whole, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do all the things we all say. We all
every
do
day.
it. It's all we want. Right, yeah. And I watch them taper off over about 10 days. And I always say, don't worry about it. This is your warm-up. This is your warm-up. You got a month to figure out what is your actual goal, resolution, because you need to nail it for February. February is when the energy shifts. And if we're talking about resolutions, we're talking energy. Right? So February is your go-to month. That's what you got to aim for.
Yeah, you get that practice in. So for everybody watching and joining us today, we're going to get into 5 fun. I'm so used to just saying tips on all. It's just like a habit now to be like some tips, but it's more like 5 fun action items that you can do before Chinese New Year, which we just clarified which one we're working with. So before, and we are, you have plenty of time. These are not things like paint your house, rearrange your house, turn your house upside down and around. Like, you have time to work on it this weekend, which is why we got you really excited for this weekend so that you don't delay. You can just take action after this video and get everything going before the true 2022 comes in. So tell us, what's the first action item?
All right. Well, before I give you the actual 5 tips, I will explain a little bit about why you need to do this. So the big tradition with Chinese New Year, if you go looking, and you can find a lot of this on Google. I mean, Google does tell the truth sometimes. It's all to do about chasing away the old year and welcoming in the new year. So a big component of that is number 1, which we'll get to in a moment. But it's traditionally about making a lot of noise, firecrackers, wearing fiery colors to chase away a monster that would come in on Chinese New Year's and terrorize the villages and kill people. Lovely bedtime story for the children. I know. It's called Yan. I forget the name of the monster, but so a tradition came to do something to scare this monster away and to prepare for that. So it's all about sweeping away the old to sweep in the new. So there's your clue. The first one is cleaning your house. Okay. Very easy to do before we get to Chinese New Year, which is the February 1st. This is the one we're working on right now, is February 1st, right? So clean your house. Now, this is easy. We all do it anyway, but I want you to really do it before February 1st and then not do it for at least 3 days. Longer if possible, but if you can't, that's fine. So you want to sweep away the old and then let the new energy come in and settle. So this is easy. This is things like, okay, I was going to say clean your carpets. That's not always easy. Vacuum your carpets, right? If you've got a home steam cleaner, quickly clean stuff. Wash a rug, wash the floors. Like the dust that's settled on your floor, get it off, right? Organize your cupboards, go through your wardrobe, get things you can donate to charity. Like really go through and just think, what do I not need? What is no longer working for me? What can that might work for someone else? What can I give it away? And how do I just clean my house? Really simple. Doesn't cost you a penny, unless you clean your carpets. And it will remove the old. It will help you remove the old energy. That's the key. That's what you're doing right there, is you're removing the old energy. So new energy can come in. So you can sort of say, well, okay, I'm cleaning up the old dust because I want new dust to come in. Yes, actually, yes, you do. So you want to do this cleaning. You want to have it done before February 1st and then not clean. So wipe up the Kool-Aid spill from your child or the coffee that you knock over on your desk. That's fine. But do not clean your house for at least 3 days. Okay,
for at least 3 days after the 4th. Or after
after the 1st. We need this before Lunar New Year.
Okay.
So our target is February 1st. So this weekend and Monday, clean your house.
Cleaning the house.
Yeah.
And yeah, this kind of goes into so many people, like, the ancient old wise Feng Shui, you wouldn't call them consultants, but Feng Shui teachers are a little bit like, decluttering and cleaning. That's not Feng Shui. But you can see how, for everybody watching, that's how it's become a little bit all-encompassing or kind of grouped in together, because it's about getting rid of the old with that intention and the dust. And it's like old stuck energy. And Feng Shui is about using the energy of your space. So in modern day, where we all have these homes, the dusting and the cleaning, it kind of gets grouped into it.
It does. And you encapsulated that really well, Jeanette, because it's exactly what it is. We all know, it's good to meditate. We're supposed to do all these things, but sometimes we can't sit still. Give us a physical job to do and we can actually do it. So the act of cleaning is also not just cleaning your surroundings, your physical. It actually activates your mind and starts to clean you as well, because it's about an overall cleansing everywhere. Okay, and we'll touch on the cleansing in the body in a second, but the cleansing of the house is the first part. See, there's something called the Cosmic Trinity, and it's the relationship between heaven, man, and earth. So your physical space is the earth, man is your actions, and heaven is the spirit. So when we can align all three, we achieve an enlightenment and an easier, happier life. So cleaning the bottom layer, the earth, is your first step.
Yes, there you go. And like she said, it'll help you feel good. And it's a good reflective time. So for the people who don't like to meditate because they can't calm their mind, just like, then don't calm your mind. Then don't. Listen to an uplifting podcast. Listen to Chi-Pro Sam's podcast.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That's actually why I started Tai Chi, because I tried meditation. I tried this whole sitting still, and this calm. And I was like, oh my God, my mind won't stop talking.
Yeah.
It's okay that your mind doesn't stop talking.
Yeah.
If you're approaching meditation, whatever works for you, yoga, actual meditation, breath work, Tai Chi, hiking, doesn't matter. Your mind isn't necessarily supposed to be empty. When you're meditating, that is the moment for your mind to sort stuff out. So don't banish it when it comes into your mind. Realize, acknowledge it and say, okay, I acknowledge that thought, and I either answer it right now or I will answer it. So it's okay to have minds keep going. But yeah, I can't sit still. I mean, come on. It can't be done.
Speaking of that, I wasn't planning on bringing it up today. Before we get into the second tip, if you are somebody that wants to get into meditation, I am doing February Meditation Mastery, which is a Telegram group where every morning, so it's for the people who just like they get overwhelmed even by the choices of meditations on Insight Timer. Join this group every morning. I'm going to send a meditation. First week will be 5 minutes. Second week will be 10 minutes. The last week will be 25 minutes. So February, 28 days. By the end of February, you'll be meditating for 25 minutes. If that is your choice of, what's the word? If that's your route of choice, or you can be dusting and cleaning and listening to Cheap Roast and podcast. So there you go.
I think it's great because I think it's really important we give people, or people understand that you do what's right for you.
Yeah.
It's different for everyone. There is no one size fits all in Feng Shui, in Chinese astrology, in Chinese New Year. You do what works for you. I love what you're doing, Jeanette. I think that's ridiculously awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Oh, more than fun. So useful. All right.
All right. Here we go. Tip, action item number 2. There you go. It just comes out of my mouth. Action item number 2.
All right. Pay those bills. Now, in the electronic world, this is easy. Sign into your online banking over the next few days and have a look at what bills you've got and just see if you can pay them. I understand if you can't. That's okay. But luckily, Lunar New Year falls on the 1st. So most of us are getting some kind of a paycheck on the 30th of the month. So as that money comes in, try to clear some bills. Now, you can only do what's realistic. So I'm not saying pay off your mortgage. I'm not saying pay off your car loan. Those are things that are ongoing. What I'm saying is if you know that if you owe someone some money and you keep forgetting to send it to them, it could be $10, it could be $200. Send it to them before Lunar New Year. You want to set a good intention, okay? You want to set a good intention that you don't want to have debt or as little debt as you can. Again, it's clearing out the old so you make way for the new. So it's actually super easy. I also, with this one, I'm going to add something here. I do shop up until Chinese New Year, and then I try really hard to not spend any money for the first couple of days, which is tough because people often want to see me and take me out for coffee or for dinner. And I just got invited to cocktails on Chinese New Year Day Eve. And I said, okay, we can do this, girls, but we need to prepay. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, can't be spending any money on the first day. So I said, get gift cards. So we were all buying gift cards, so it's prepaid. And so that we can just hand over the gift card. You have to be creative, okay? You have to be creative.
Wow, that is so funny. Well, so this, I'm like, you say that and I'm racking my brain about what I need to do. I just moved to Cleveland. I don't really know anybody here, so I don't think I'm going to be having to worry about that just yet. But I am thinking like, don't buy the socializing aspect, but don't online shop, right? Don't,
No, and the theory, I mean, okay, this one's a little bit of a, I'm not going to say a myth because I believe there's some truth to it, but it's a little bit fluid. We'll keep it a little bit soft here. The theory is if you start off the Chinese New Year spending money, you will continue spending money. Yeah. It's like you're opening the door for that. And especially if it connects with something in your Batsa chart, your Chinese astrology chart called lesser consumer or greater consumer. If you have those coming into your Batsa chart this year, you are spending money. So
I think I have it. And this will be my second year in a row. Oh my God.
I have it too.
Oh my God.
I have it too, which is exactly why I'm being very careful. I'm like, oh my God. By the way, if that happens, if you have one of these stars coming into your chart, the way to deal with it is just to purposely spend. So to be aware of your impulses and to think, right, what am I investing in? If I'm going to spend money this year, I will choose where to spend it. I will invest in myself, education, something I need. Maybe I need a car. Maybe I need something. So it's okay that if you're affected by it and you're going to spend money, just choose where you spend it. And the other part about the whole money before Chinese New Year is if you're owed money, if someone's forgotten to pay you as well, it's okay to give them a gentle reminder. And sometimes I struggle with that one because I don't like reminding people if they happen to have not paid an invoice, because I know they will. Everybody always does. But it's okay to put that little gentle nudge out there and to bring that money to you before Chinese New Year.
Yeah,
okay?
It's not you, it's the energy. Yeah. You're like, hey, pay this invoice. The energy, it's coming.
Totally.
It's a great excuse.
Yeah. And nine times out of 10, if I've done that, people say, oh my God, I didn't send that to you. And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, they forget. So you're not actually, we think we're bugging people sometimes, but we're not. People get busy and, they've got other things, everyone's got a lot on their mind, especially this year. So, it's okay. It's okay to do that. Because I like to say, financial freedom is priceless. Okay. It's just priceless.
And some of that is too, again, modern day twist here. Money is energy. If you have outstanding debts, if you have even people that owe you like a task, like, right, they said they would do something. It's all about just like going into it with good energy, not with things weighing on your mind, not with inches, go back to number 1, clean your house, not with inches of dust. And just, I don't like that part of my house because it's just, I need to get to it. It's a symbolism. It's symbolism of everything I have to do. I don't like this part of my office desk because the bills are all here. So it's all about like using this as like a deadline. Some of us work better on deadlines, right? So think of it, is it an exciting one? It's an exciting one.
Totally. It's like ask a busy person to get something done, right? And they will.
Yeah.
I remember giving myself some time off recently as I was going through something, and it was great. But then I was like, and I realized I wasn't getting things done because I didn't have deadlines. And I'm like, I need deadlines. I need a go-to list. I need things to do. So you don't want to pressure yourself. Right. And like I said, you have to be realistic. We're not paying off a mortgage. We're not paying off a car loan. There's a number of things that people may be dealing with financially. But this year, more than ever, it's really important to get a handle on your finances early, because we are, through the whole COVID thing we've had for a few years, we're coming to the financial reckoning part of that now. So we're going to be affected. So it's a great year to get that debt load down if you can. Okay. If you can just bring it down, lower it, take the pressure off yourself.
Yeah. Take the pressure off yourself ultimately. Okay. So transitioning for anybody new who's come in, we are talking about 5 fun action items to do before Chinese New Year 2022 energy comes in. And we've covered the first 2. So we've covered the first 2. We're moving on to number 3. What is number 3?
Right. So number 3 is a very interesting one. It's a haircut. So if you can, have a haircut, which also involves washing your hair. And this is really good to do before. So 2022, it's really good to do before February 1st. Remember, Chinese New Year changes each year on the actual date. But this year, it's February 1st. So the next few days, if you can, have a haircut. If you can't, just have a nice good hair wash on the eve of Chinese New Year, because the idea is you're sort of cutting off the dead ends, right? I mean, a hairdresser is going to cut off the dead ends of your hair. Your hair is constantly growing. We all know the more you prune something, roses in a garden, your hair, the better it will grow. So you don't need to shave your head. We're not going to pruning here. Just point that out before I get a text from someone.
That'll be the next matcha with me. Right? Yeah. We'll just be shaving our heads on.
Exactly. You go first. I'll follow.
Yeah.
No. So you want to, it's good to have a haircut. Is this one written in stone? No, it's not. Again, these are all, they're not myths, but they're stories passed down through generations. And it's something I do. I just had my hair cut about a week ago, so that I would be ready. And then the concept is you do your best not to have your hair cut for like 30 days after Chinese New Year. That may not be possible, just the way your hair grows or something that you have to have done. So I say give it a week. My thought is give yourself a week into Chinese New Year before you cut off the new growth. Again, it's like you said, Jeanette, it's symbolic. We want the old dead stuff cut off. We want the new growth brought in and maintained. The whole concept of the few days after Chinese New Year of being sort of quiet and being with family and sharing food at home and just being with each other is to allow the new chi to settle. And it's the same with your hair. We want the new growth to settle in. So this one is a bit more symbolic.
Yeah.
I do follow it though. I do follow it. Yeah.
Well, and again, that modern twist that we know that it's symbolic in that I'm starting fresh, I'm abundant, my bills are paid off, my hair is cut, I'm looking my best, I'm going into it feeling my best. So I'm bringing my best energy into this 2022 year.
Totally, because you and I both know that if, it's not just women, it's men as well. If we feel that we look good on the outside, it helps us work on the inside. We all know that beauty comes from within. It's you can have every facelift known to man, every Botox injection, the best clothing in the world, and a fabulous makeup artist. But if you are not beautiful on the inside, if you are struggling inside, if there's some negativity in here, it's going to come out. And that's where Chinese face reading comes in, actually, because everything comes out and shows on our face. So we can't hide who we are. We can cover it with makeup. We can do all sorts of things, but our true self will come out. So these things we're talking about, especially, the haircut and looking good, is all to help us shift our energy, because we're at the down point. We're at the last month of the 2021. We sort of hit bottom.
Yeah, surprise, everybody. It hasn't changed yet. Surprise. But that's probably a good news to a lot of people.
It is, because I don't know about you, but January month is always a tough month. But this month, so for those of you, if you're not familiar with some of the Chinese astrology aspects, every year has an animal that leads. Every month has an animal that leads. They're like prime ministers and presidents. But this January that we're in, January is always ox month. But 2021 was ox year. So the best way to describe it is an ox is an animal that works hard, puts its head down, plows a straight line. It's kind of in the trenches. And we've had 2 of them this month. So it's just been very heavy and overwhelming.
Yeah.
And if you've got specific things in your chart, you will have felt that really hard. But we're just about to come out of it. We're like, February 4th, we come out of it. So it's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier. Yeah.
I tend to, so I do my monthly on YouTube. I do my monthly Feng Shui forecasts, and you and I discuss energy and Bazi and all that beforehand. And I believe I have this gift where I kind of feel it a little early. And so the beginning, because of what's in my astrology chart with you, we've discussed it. And you and I are very similar.
We are.
We're going to end up having such a biased opinion. But first few weeks of January, but let me tell you, I've been crushing it, not to toot my own horn. But so what I feel coming in, because what I'm getting at is I can kind of sense the energy a little bit before. And I believe that's to help share and teach people, so I can give them, heads up. So I go through it first and then I help everybody. And it feels good. It feels good. Yeah. It's going to be so nice to get that ox out of the way. So many of all of our clients were saying, I'm working so hard. Where's the reward?
Yeah.
And, that's that ox.
Yeah. I think everyone just hit bottom. And, you and I have talked about this a lot. We do have the similarities in our chart, which is great, because often we can help each other understand what that is and why and we'll give a different viewpoint. But yes, you are a bit of an empath. I certainly am as well. So once you open up to energy, once you sort of open yourself to the fact that something is there that cannot be seen, that is an intangible aspect that really flows through us all, you start to channel it early. So I always get hit before my clients get hit. So if I'm going down, the good thing is I've now realized, okay, if I'm going down, I've got a bit of time and I can give people warning. And that's why I do the podcasts and the newsletters and I talk about astrology, because that's my point is, oh, shoot, I just felt that. So I'm going to give them a heads up so people know how to deal with that. If you know what's coming your way, you can deal with it. Right? Yeah. It's when you get blindsided, you're like, what the heck just happened there? Yeah. So awareness is key. So I was just talking with a really good client the other night. We're walking out with his dog and he said, I don't want you to tell me anymore, Sam, because you said that and then I thought I was manifesting it. And I'm like, no, because he was skiing really fast and he remembered something I'd said.
Ah,
and he
yes.
stopped, and then he did a 360, and I was laughing, and I said, no, actually. I said, what happened is you were being a bit reckless, and my voice came into your head, where I told him in his QiCast, the monthly forecast I do, I'd said, be careful, you are, a little bit accident prone, so don't go to the extreme.
Yeah.
So I said, you did a 360 as in standing up and just turning around, and then he skied again. I said, rather than tumbling and falling and hurting yourself. I said, so
there's that heads up.
You didn't manifest it. You intervened and you remembered it. So yeah.
So heads up, everybody, get your hair cut before 2022. And okay, moving forward, what's our fourth action item?
Well, the fourth one is, we've actually touched on it a little bit. We've given a little bit of a hint, if anyone's listening really well. Jazz up your wardrobe. Okay, jazz up your wardrobe. I love it if you could buy something red, because it all goes back to the story of the monster that would come in Chinese New Year's Eve and terrorize the village people. One smart person realized one day that if they put a bunch of red outside, like red lanterns and red posters on the door and just red decorations, the monster didn't seem to like that, and it moved on to somebody else. But the good side about red is also quite positive. Every time you see red, you think of Valentine's Day, you think of Christmas, you often think of happy events. So red inspires us. It's a fire color, and fire is traditionally great for hope. It brings inspiration and hope. So jazz up your wardrobe. If you don't like red, it doesn't have to be red.
I was just going to say,
yeah,
I don't like red.
I know. Well, you know what I do?
Can I use gold? Can I use
Yes,
gold?
You could use gold. You could use, to be honest, use any color that you love. Do not allow anything to ever restrict you. Even these 5 tips, they shouldn't restrict you. They should just enhance and just give you some guidance. So whatever favorite color. But what I do with red sometimes, it's so funny because people look for it now. The people I share Chinese Lunar New Year with, they'll be looking at me as I walk in to see what I'm wearing. And it's become a bit of a standing joke because I often walk in deliberately not wearing red on the outside. So I've often gone to buy myself beautiful, very nice lingerie every Chinese New Year, and it's red. So I know where the red is. The red's important to me. And sometimes I'll put a big red jacket on or something too. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. So, but jazz up your wardrobe. Now, a key part as well is to buy this item before Lunar New Year, but not to wear it. It needs to be worn on the New Year. Okay.
Yes. So because of the spending money. So one of our tips, because of the spending money. So before the first.
Yeah.
Spend the money and don't wear it yet.
Don't wear it. Now I'm going to do, I'm a very logical girl. I'm very realistic. Not everyone can go out and buy something. Okay. It's been a tricky year. Finances are tight. So how about this? How about we just spin it around? How about you go in your closet, you find something red if you've got it, or something that you love. How about you wash it? I mean, really delicately, nicely wash it, iron it, hang it to dry, whatever it is it needs, and put it aside and wear that on New Year. Okay. So if you can't go buy something, there's your fallback, because I don't want people spending money they don't have thinking it will change anything. No.
Right.
Use your smarts and do it right. But if you can, go treat yourself. Okay.
Right.
Go treat yourself to something.
And that goes to like the color as well, right? In Feng Shui, if an area needs red and you don't like red, don't do anything you don't love, right? Everything is about energy. So if I don't love the color red and I'm going to be like, oh, I look like a red strawberry, right? It's not going to bring in the goodness. So it's all about, and again, this Chinese New Year, like this is a celebration. This is like a happy occasion. This isn't this isn't like a judgment day. This is a happy occasion. So
totally. It's about coming together and the lunar. So the moon is always about emotions, right? We know this. So Lunar New Year is about the people. It's about getting together with people that you love. So I choose very carefully who I spend my time with over those following few days. You can't always not work. I mean, in Asia, they shut down because Chinese New Year actually lasts about 15 days.
Right.
So it's a really big holiday.
Right.
Here in North America, we don't do that. And I don't do that. And I certainly can't not work for 15 days. But when I can, and I can't do it this year, but when I can, I try to go away. I try to make sure I'm maybe skiing somewhere, or I'm doing something very relaxing with friends that's not work, because the whole intent is to set your year up for how it's going to be, right? So you want to have that good intention. And you're right, the red doesn't matter, but red, if you can do it, I would like red. And, you know, there's something I didn't put in the tips, but I touched on it, is on your front door. If you can, if you've got something red, even if it's a red wreath from Christmas, I have a big Chinese red banner, and I put it on my door on the day before Chinese Lunar New Year. And technically it's to ward off the evil spirit, but it's also to signify to people walking by, more in Asia than in North America, but to signify that, yes, I have paid my bills and I've received my bills back in. So it's like a, yes, I did the things I needed to do. So they're these big red banners, and they can be anything, but they often have gold on them and Chinese characters. And I do that, but it works for me because of our industry. So it may not work for everyone. Yeah.
How exciting is that? And I told everybody she would bring the fun. She knows all the fun cultural reasoning behind that. You know, I will say I do my best to educate myself along the way, but all these fun little cultural nuances that just kind of, because we're always so quick to be like, well, how can I make more money? How can I, you know, find the love of my life? How can I do all these things? And I'm so glad you reminded me about this is signifying to the new energy. Like, this is a day that you're signifying what you want your year to look like. Knowing me, I would blast right through it. I would forget about it, and I would just work. So this is a really good reminder. This video and you saying that is such a good reminder.
Oh, you're welcome. And, you know, it is for you and I as metaphysics consultants, this is a really busy time of year. I mean, I'm booked solid until through the end of March, because with updates for people for the year. So it's a very busy time, but my clients know me well enough now. They know I kind of withdraw right around Chinese New Year. I will see some socially, my good friends, but everyone else knows just I'm off. I'm doing my thing because I'm setting myself up. The world has to keep going. You may have to get in your car and drive to work that day, but your mindset can be good.
Your mindset could be good.
There are so many great, and actually food is a really big part. And it's not in the 5 tips, but in one of my blogs, I believe it is, what is the date for, it's on my website, cheaprosam.com, but there's a blog about the date of Chinese New Year, explaining what it is. And I've linked to the foods you can have. Now, I don't abide to the whole list because it's a really big list of foods, but just try to have foods from very different areas. Like, for example, I'll be having dinner with a family on New Year's Eve night, and I said to him, well, we need something from the earth, the sea, and the sky. And he's like, the sky? What do you mean? And I'm like, it's actually easy. Duck, pheasant, something that flies. Could be turkey, even though it doesn't really fly. I said, the ground can be the plants. The sea is seafood. I said, you want to have something from all the realms and celebrate that. Now, if you're Buddhist, you're not going to have any meat on Chinese New Year, and that's okay. So that's your following. You're going to do that. I mean, you're not probably eating meat anywhere, but if you're really following that area, Chinese New Year is a no meat zone. Yeah. But I say again, work with your family. If your family loves spaghetti bolognese, that's what you make Chinese New Year. Okay.
Or work with your grandma's 1950s oven, aka me, where you can only cook certain things in it. Did your host say, like, Sam, you're uninvited to this dinner because this is quite an extravagant list of things?
No,
like, look, we invited you, and now you want me to cook you duck?
He rose to the occasion. He's on it. Yeah, he's on it. He's great. He's a cook. That's why I chose him. He's a great cook.
Great. Okay, guys, to reset and remind you, we are going through 5 action items that you can do before Chinese New Year to bring in the best 2022 energy. We've gone through 4 of them, so you can go back and watch this replay, and you can watch the first 4. Here, we're going to round it out with the final one. What do you have for us?
Well, it's a big one. I'll show you. I've got one here ready because I'm getting them ready for my children. And they can look a little different, but it looks a bit like this. Okay. This is a red envelope. I actually sometimes use a gold one as well. I've got a few different colors. So this is the famous red envelope that is given by parents to their unmarried children. So of course, little children, but to their unmarried children. And it signifies a gift at Chinese New Year. Now, it's called a few different things, and my pronunciation is not brilliant, so please forgive me. I'm English by birth, not Asian, so I'm not going to get this right. But Hongbao is the Mandarin way of saying red envelope, and Lei Si is in Cantonese. It doesn't matter. It's a red envelope. But the concept is, on the first time you see your children, so mine are adult children, so I don't actually see them right away sometimes. I won't see my son for 2 days until he gets back from work. I won't see my daughter for easily 2 months. So I will hold on to her red envelope. So I hand it to her personally the first time I see her after Chinese New Year. But when you can, the concept is, especially with little children, is that they come to the parents and they give maybe a little basket of something. Maybe it's a basket of homemade cookies, a basket of drawings, a basket of things they love about mom and dad, or their auntie, or their uncle, or whoever it is. So we want to encourage the children to give thanks to their parents for anything they are thankful for, what they're grateful for. Okay, really simple, age appropriate, of course. So my adult children, it's more about a discussion. What do we want to do this year? What do we love spending time together with? It's just a fluid movement. But traditionally, the children give something to the parents that is emotional based, I will say, like it's a little gift. And then the parents hand over the envelope, and they hand it over with 2 hands. So you want to hand it over with 2 hands, your 2 hands on there. Okay. And you would receive, if you're given one, you would receive it with 2 hands. So it's a very gentle, it's not just something you say, hey, here you go. No, it needs to be handed over correctly. Yeah. And in the envelope is to be some money. Doesn't have to be a lot. It could be $1. But the idea is usually bills, so paper, and you want new money. So it gets very busy in the banks in Asia before Chinese New Year because everyone's going in getting crisp.
Needing cash.
And I do that. This is something I do. And what I do for other people's children, so the people I'm with on New Year's Day this year, is I will actually put chocolate in there. Okay, because they know I love chocolate and they love chocolate. Who doesn't? So I will give them a red envelope with chocolate because I know that their dad will give them the money as is appropriate for that. So it's a lovely tradition. And sometimes, I don't know if this has happened to you, Jeanette, but sometimes people will pay me with a red envelope. And when I first had one given to me, I was like, what? And it was actually lovely. What it is they'd researched on the internet, it's happened twice, about how you pay someone in our industry with a red envelope. So it does happen sometimes. I know.
Well, it's not happened, but I just came from Texas, so Feng Shui is a little bit of a new concept over there.
It depends on the client. The couple of people had researched it and they wanted to do it all right. And I said, there is no wrong way. But the gesture was lovely. So it's all in the gesture, okay? And it's a funny part. And I told my children this, I never should have told them. The idea is when they give thanks to us by saying something, a little gift or something. And it could be a homemade card too. So don't sweat it, parents. Don't make your kids do something they're not comfortable with. Make it easy. Yeah. But once they give that and then they give the gift, I forget the actual words of it, but there's a saying and it says, show me the money. And what it means is give me the red envelope. But that's a cheeky one. We don't want to encourage that. But I mentioned it to my kids and now they always say, show me the money, Mom. And I'm like,
with 2 hands. Yeah. And that's probably about like that gratitude, right? It's probably about that energy again, like haircut, look nice, you're your best self, and you're in your most grateful state is probably the 2 hand.
Yeah. And there's something else I want to mention too is children, it's hard for them to not open the red envelope. Okay. Little children. So like when I give my friends, children, their envelopes, there's chocolate in there. They know that. They're expecting it. They know me well. So they're going to rip it open and eat that chocolate. But if your children are a little bit older, especially if you're dealing with adult, generally encourage them to not open the envelope right when it's given. It's supposed to be held and it's supposed to be opened in private. And if you think about it, that's actually logical because what if it could go wrong, right? We've all done. We've opened birthday cards and we're expecting some money from Granny.
Yeah, and we open it and it's like, see if there's a check in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, $5 $5. Great. Thanks, Granny. So, I mean, I look at it and think, okay, well, that's logical, but we shouldn't be disappointed. A gift is a gift, and this is a symbolic gift. But if you can, some traditions say, hold it for 7 days. My kids don't make it 7 days. Absolutely not. But they don't open it in front of me. So I give it to them and I encourage them to put it away and open it when they're there. And I don't give them a huge amount of money. No. I'm very logical. They just get a little bit because it's the concept. It's not the amount. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the concept. How wonderful. So I'm thinking about, so what if I have a lot of listeners, watchers who don't have families yet. So what about people who don't have a red envelope to give? I mean, they might have their parents or something, but it'll be months before they see their parents, right? Because maybe they don't live in the same state. What would be your recommendation to that? Is it bad if you don't give a red envelope?
No, it's not bad, but it's a really good question because I think we always need to we need to go with the times. We need to modernize and be where we are right now. We cannot live in the past. We must live in the present and work towards the future. I think if you want to give a red envelope, and by the way, you'll find red envelopes sometimes at dollar stores of all places, places that like Hallmark and Carlton, like card stores, they often have red envelopes. So you'll find them easily. In North America, I think Shoppers Drug Mart and London Drugs have them. But so you'll find them. You could give a red envelope to a younger employee, a younger colleague, if you wanted to. Just someone who's generally younger than you. Traditionally, someone that's single, because if they're already married, then they are in a partnership and they're already building that future together. Because it's not really the money, it's about prosperity. Everything we've talked about is about prosperity, and prosperity isn't just money. So the whole Lunar New Year, what I've been talking about with the fact that it's people and we get together, the whole aspect is the togetherness and the focusing on the people. And a prosperous life isn't necessarily rich in the bank. It's rich in the bank of karma. So it's the good deeds and all the things that you do. So you could easily give it to young friends, even single friends, you're a group of 5 girls and you've got your girlfriends. If you want to give it to your girlfriends, go for it. Why not? Have some fun with it. And definitely, if you've a group of 5 girlfriends, you're going to the lingerie store for some red underwear. Put it out there.
There you go. For that good karma, for that good energy.
And if you really wanted to pass it on, I believe there are digital red envelopes. I haven't checked that out myself, but you can actually send money through a digital. Yeah, I just haven't looked at that. And if you wanted to, you could mail it. Why not? Why not surprise someone? Good old-fashioned snail mail. Get a red envelope, put a little bit of money in there. So don't send big cash through the mail. Let's be careful here.
Right.
$5. That's all you need to do. In the red envelope, inside a regular envelope, and send it. That person who receives that is going to smile so broadly when they open that and they're going to, wow, you could make their day. They could be having any number of things happen and you will make their day. Yeah. So let's change it. Let's change it up.
And that's the other beautiful thing about all of this. Yeah, it's like spreading, it's like not Christmas, but Christmas all over. This phrase often gets related to Christmas, but spreading the cheer, spreading the prosperity, spreading the abundance and the hope and the gratitude. It's again, if everything is energy, be that and good energy in your environment that makes the environment a better place.
Totally. And it was funny because you reminded me of something. Because I won't see my daughter for so long, I was thinking of doing it differently because I thought, long time for her to wait, and she knows about the red envelope. And so I was actually thinking of sending it to her with a bunch of chocolate because she loves chocolate. So I might have to change it up. And I think you do what works for where you are in the world. Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We have gone through the 5. Should we recap them? I guess I'll spoil it. Clean your house, number 1.
Yeah.
Pay those bills, number 2. Get your hair cut. Now, as a reminder, so I can cut my own hair. Can I cut my own hair? So it has to be by the 1st.
Yes.
This year, I cut my own things. Here we go. Another predicament of moving where life is completely different. It's very exciting, very fun. But I don't have a hair lady yet. So I got to cut my own hair.
Well, also some people can't, some hairdressers are still restricted with COVID. So again, think outside the box. Be creative.
Does this apply to men's facial hair?
Any hair. Any hair.
Right. So trim the beard.
Yep. Yep. Anything you like. I'm not sure we can say it applies to shaving your legs. I think we'll stick with the hair on the head.
Stick with the hair on the head. Yeah. On the head and the face. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Number 4 is jazz up the wardrobe. And number 5 was that famous red envelope that you just heard about. So to wrap it up, thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. Do you want to share a little bit of just a quick blurb about what energy you see in 2022? We keep it positive and light here, you guys. Everything is about mindset. Everything is about, not everything is about mindset. It's also about Feng Shui here on the Elemental Clarity YouTube channel. But getting this heads up, right, is always, we're always able to turn it around, prepare ahead of time, and be positive through.
It is. Totally. It's so good to approach it like that, Jeanette. And thank you for giving me a few minutes, because I do want to share something, just some tidbits, because if we understand what's coming our way, it's just so much easier. We've been through a lot the last 2 years. We are tired. We've had enough. And I'm here to say that, yes, I can't say it's just going to be magically different February 4th, but we are entering a new period. We are coming out of the trenches. We're going to step up. So 2022 is year of the tiger. So for example, 21 was year of the ox and 22 is year of the tiger. But it's a very special tiger. It's something called Runyin, which is Yang water tiger. So I'm just going to pull up a note. I made some notes for us because I wanted to talk about this. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. But the few things I want to give away for you are, I will expand on in my blog. So do come and sign up for the blog, because I will do a big detail on this. And I've also created a downloadable guide that everyone can get. It's free. You just can go, and I think you're going to share that after. So I'm going to say, so go and get the guide. I call it my life guide. It's free. Okay. No strings attached. It's free because it goes over astrology in 2022. It goes over the Feng Shui in 2022 about what areas you should not renovate. Very important. And what areas you should. If we get time, I'll touch on that today. But it's packed full of information and it's free. So do go grab it. It's ready for you now. But the big things that I'd like to say for the tiger year coming in, it's going to kind of hit with a punch in February, because remember I said January was an ox month in an ox year. Yeah. February is a tiger month in a tiger year. So we're going to have 2 tigers come in. Whenever anything duplicates, it's full on. It's full on intense. So this year we're going to be, the water with the tiger is quite emotional. So yes, it can be overwhelming, and it has been. But we're going to see more spiritual healing and more spiritual growth. It's very much a year of personal growth. And that's why getting your house ready for Chinese New Year now sets the stage, because it's internal. We are the only ones that can help ourselves this year. The world is going to keep turning. COVID is still here. It is not going away right now. It will not fully go away until 2024. But it's receding and it's changing now because we're learning to live with it.
Yes. And let me elaborate on that. When people hear that, they're going to be like, what do you mean? No. All emotions are not bad. There are good emotions. So I will fully admit, if I wasn't meditating, if I wasn't going in that, I would be like, what do you mean? Oh my gosh. Focus on the present. Focus on your world. Turn off the news, turn off all of it. We're not going to get into all of it. But the point is, a lot of emotions can be good. Just make them good emotions that come in, right? It can be a great, all this movement, getting it in, getting out, having a good cry, gets it out. It can all be phenomenal. And so it's just to clarify, it all can be what you make it.
Yes, thank you for that, Jeanette, because I do forget sometimes. I come out with things and I'm thinking, oh, someone's going to panic on that. I actually stopped watching the news months back. I check in periodically, but it was just too depressing because it was just constantly breaking news. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the same thing.
It's not.
Yeah. And emotions are good. I mean, I'll put myself right on the table here. This month of January, I hit the floor so many times. I've never cried so much in my life, but it was needed.
But you've never looked better because you got it all out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. But it's true though. It was needed. I was holding on to things and I needed to get them out. And the only way sometimes is to expel it. You know, when you've eaten something bad and you throw up, it's yucky when you're throwing up. We're like, oh my God, this is all. But afterwards, once it's out, you're like, oh, thank God. Yeah. Right? It's the same thing. So this emotional growth this year is awesome. It's awesome. Is good.
That's what I really want to stress too. It's awesome.
It is awesome. It will have some dark moments, but if you don't know dark, you can't know light. If you don't know cold, you cannot know heat. We have to have both. We have to have this. But the good thing about 2022 is fire is born. Now, the word is born is important. It's at a birth stage in the elemental sequences, which means it's not that strong yet, which is why I've said COVID is still here, but it's we're going to learn to live with it and manage it. But the fire is hope. We now see hope. And what the tiger brings forward, the tiger is a strong wood element animal. So what we're going to see this year is a real, we're going to see the pill. We're going to see the COVID pill really take off. So last year, it was all about vaccines because it was something called Shin Chu, which is yin metal ox. And that was about a fine, delicate metal, a needle. Yep. This year, we don't have any of that Shin. It's Run Yin. So it's a whole different ballgame. And Run is water going everywhere. So it's mass distribution of a COVID pill. So we're going to change how we deal with it, which is good. So medical breakthroughs, less boosters and vaccines, still important, but more medical breakthroughs.
Yeah. Options, hope.
Yeah, it's good. And movement, because last year the ox held us down. We were locked down. We were stopped. You know, the world did keep turning. Businesses did.
It's just that hard work.
It was relentless. It was a grind. This year, the tiger will bring the chance to move, to pounce. So it's very important that, that saying, well, we'll do it that way because it's always been done that way. No, that cannot apply to 2022. 2022, you need to do things differently. Mm-hmm. There is no more doing it how you did, which means you will let go of things. You will let go of people. That analogy of vomit and crying and everything, you're going to do that. You're going to actually release a lot of things that no longer work for you because they're going to make you ill. So this is good. Again, it's a painful moment as you go through it, but don't stop it. Don't hold those emotions in, get them out.
Right.
There is turbulence this year because of this. The Run, it's called REN, but it's called Run, is yang water. So it's like an ocean. Oceans are great, but oceans are deep, dark, mysterious. They have tides, they have tsunamis, they have undercurrents. They're constantly shifting. So 2022 is going to constantly shift. We're going to go one way, and then we're going to have to go somewhere else, and then we're going to go here. So be prepared for that. So normally I would say make a business plan, make your personal plan, have your goals and you set to them. I'm going to say, have a few business plans, have a few goals, because you're going to constantly be moving amongst them. And that's not bad because we need to do things in a new way. So it's not a bad thing at all.
And to add on that, again, I'm putting myself in the place of somebody who, is here to make it their best year. And it's just like, I don't want to hear about change. This is a good time to, let's add to the 5 list. This is a good time to look at somebody you admire, whether it's, I was just talking about Sarah Blakely yesterday, Tony Robbins, Michael Jordan. Pick somebody you admire, read their book, read a blog about them, read about their life, because anybody has a book written about them had a turbulent time. So if you have to cut out a friend to be your best self this year and to make more money, and to maybe you have that girlfriend that's like, men suck, I don't like them, and her energy is not helping you attract any men, you're going to have to just give her a red envelope and tell her, I'll talk to you in a few months. Let me get some good energy going. And then you can always go back to that person, right? Just be open to the flow, and it's okay, and have the bigger picture. And what I always tell myself is, look at this successful person that I admire, that I emulate. And man, my story is going to be so cool, because the crazier it is, the cooler the outcome and the win, right?
Again, if you don't know, very, very well said, Jeanette, very well said, because if you don't know dark, you cannot know light. The people that usually are the highest achievers have achieved the lowest lows, because they, when you hit bottom, there's only one way up. Even this month for me, I sat there and thought, all right, well, that sucked, but let's get back up. So now if I got through that, oh my God, I can get through anything. So it's really important. I mean, Bruce Lee, I do martial arts, and Bruce Lee, his big saying was, be like water. And he was referencing that with martial arts about being soft, so you cannot be felt. So we do need to be like water. We need to move. We cannot be held back, though. This is not a year to sit still. This is a year to do. So you must.
Which is exciting because everybody's complaining about not doing. So here we
go. And it's very easy to think, well, I'll just follow the flow then. And I don't want that. I want people to be in sync with the flow, but I want you to create your own ripple. This is a create your own ripple year and send it outward. This is not look at someone else's ripple and follow it. Your comment about reading about people is excellent. I don't mean that. I mean, it's time to create your own ripples.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strength and power coming in this year. We're going to see some power struggles. But again, out of that comes better decisions. So we can't move forward without breaking things apart. My biggest analogy is, I say it's like a renovation. Sometimes you have to knock a wall down to realize you could put a beautiful window there and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
But until you broke that wall down that seemed like a really good wall, you never imagined how beautiful you could see the sunset. So sometimes we have to break something down to rebuild it. We do. And it's not a bad thing at all.
And just focus on, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm talking about breaking down. So if someone's thinking, well, I want to do renovations this year, Sam, in the guide, I've highlighted areas that you should not renovate this year because it will cause issues. Okay. It will cause issues for you and it will be dependent on your home. So the issue could be financial, it could be emotional, it could be health, but they're called afflicted areas and they're in the guide. So go get it. I walk you through how to work out your floor plan, how to apply it over your floor plan. So, and then you just reach out to myself or Jeanette and we'll help you with that. But it's very important because there are things you shouldn't mess. It's kind of like the CEO is coming into your house to live for a year. So you need to give him quiet space so he doesn't.
Was I excited to see that I didn't have any afflicted areas.
Yeah.
Because again, as everybody here watching knows, I moved into my grandmother's home. There's some renovations that need to be done. And I was like, boy, if there is a year, or if this is the year where I can't, I think it's my West. And I was like, if I can't work in the West, I probably would have been the one to do it. And then been like, oh, why did I do it?
Well,
repercussions. But
sometimes you do have to renovate. I mean, the areas to avoid this year will be the north. That's the big one. It's called Sansha, and it's 3 things that are negative there. So you don't want to be there. You don't want to renovate the north. And the other 2 areas are quite small. It's a segment of the northeast and a segment of the southwest. So we're actually getting off the hook quite easy this year because sometimes we can have 4 big areas. Yeah, no. This year, something really negative called the 5 yellow is in the center.
Yeah.
And so, which is great for our homes, but that's not so great. That's where the turbulence and the power struggles will come in because it means the emperor, the 5 yellow, is in the center of the Feng Shui chart, which is the governments and leaders of countries. So we're going to see them fight. But in our homes, it's easier.
Right. So and again, that does not mean, focus on your house, focus on your life, focus on your bubble. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
And focus on what you can do, not what you can't. So, chances are, someone might say, well, I was going to renovate my kitchen and Cheapo Sam just said, I can't renovate it because it's in the north. Okay. Maybe not all your kitchen, or there's good dates that we give out when you can do things, do it on that date. Or really, you couldn't do the bathroom this year, or you couldn't do something else? I bet you could. It's just that you were planning to do the kitchen. And what have I said? This is an unexpected year. Have a plan and be ready to turn.
Yeah, have A, B, and C plan.
Yeah.
So if you guys liked having this little heads up about astrology and having this heads up about how to plan your month and know what action plan A, B, or C to go with, Cheapo Sam has a couple different things. The links are in the description of this video. But as you saw, I'm gesturing to my screen over here there that nobody can see. There is her life guide. So this is complimentary to you. There's a link there. It's 40 pages of all this good information about your Chinese astrology, about Feng Shui, about action items you can take. There may or may not be a little wonderful surprise at the end to get for even something more specific to you. You want to elaborate on those?
I will actually, because I forgot I did that. I forgot I got some gifts ready. I had this idea. So in 2021, Jeanette and I were talking one day, and we both get asked to help people make decisions in the year. So we do annual updates for people on their Feng Shui, on their astrology, in the Qi which is strategy. So there's a lot we get asked for. And someone said to me one day, well, couldn't I have an update every month? And I'm like, well, you could, but it's a lot of work for me. And I don't think you're going to want to pay that, because it's a lot of work for me to do for you. Yeah. But it made me think. And I thought, okay, I think people would like to have a boost, a little something every month that is personal to them. So I created something called the QiCast. And the QiCast is a video forecast based on the day you were born, because there's lots of information in your birth date. But the one I want to talk about right now is the day of your birth. And there can be 10 types of day. So each month I do these videos, and it's a subscription. You can just sign up for it. But good memory, because not only is it free to try, but I put a discount code in the 2022 guide. So it's hidden in there at the end, and you can use that to get a discount off your QiCast, which I highly, highly recommend, because it's a monthly video forecast that you get to access. I give you insights on what actions you should be taking, what actions you need to be careful with, who you could need to be focusing on, what's happening in your career. And it's been so well received. It's grown so well because people say it gives them a boost. So I love doing it. I'm just recording February's tomorrow, actually. So they'll be up in a few days.
Yeah, and that is what I want to really, I don't know if you guys have caught on to this with my channel, if you've caught on to this in this interview, but there is nothing more important than being positive about it. And now that you've gotten a taste of how Chi Pro Sam delivers this information, she's going to give you what's happening, unbiased. She's going to give you what's happening. And then she has wonderful analogies, right, about this water, about turbulence, or about also emotion and getting it out. Like, so she has actually actionable things. I am the first person to shut down headlines that are just not good. I'm the first person to ignore all of it. And I would not be encouraging you to go watch her if I didn't think it was actually going to be helpful and actually just make you feel good. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you empowered to take on your month. And it's going to also give you a heads up when all the good stuff is coming. Just because something here or there for everybody else is going crazy does not mean that you cannot prosper.
That's right.
Other people have it.
Well, it's funny, you know what you said about the headlines. So my masters are all very Asian. I've been trained in the very Asian metaphysics, very, very tough, very poignant, and I was held to very high standards. And I have taught for the school that trained me because I went up the ladder quite fast. But one thing I noticed was, and it's a little bit of the Asian way, but it's also the old way. I'm going to call it the old way. It was the title often on when I was being trained on how to do an annual update, on how to do a forecast. It was, be warned, or, be forewarned. And I'm like, it sounds a bit negative. And, and I got into a lot of trouble, and I'll hold my hat. I really did. I got into a lot of trouble because I started coming up with analogies, not ignoring the negative. I will give a heads up if something negative is coming, but I came up with stories, and I came up with, fun things about the ox or the tiger pounces. It's not true, but it helps people remember, and it gives them a positive boost. But it is different from my Asian teaching, but it's still solid. Everything I do is from that same solid base. But my concept is, and I think you're the same, Jeanette, if we can educate people and entertain them at the same time, you remember things if you hear it in a lighthearted way. If someone makes you laugh, you remember that. Yeah. So my goal is often to make people laugh. The information is still there. Yeah. But if I can make, connect with you on that level, you will remember the things I've said. Like my friend skiing down the hill is like, oh shit, Sam said I could hurt myself. He was going too fast and he would have hurt himself. So it's good. Yeah. I think we've got to put our ancient teachings into the modern day world, because we live in a modern day world. Yeah.
That's that adaptation. And that's remembering everything here is to spread love, to spread light, to be good energy, to help people, to have fun and enjoy every day. So that's why. Okay. Yeah.
I was just saying, I think I agree totally with you, because I think if you can make someone smile, you may have made their day. They could, who knows what footsteps they had until the point that you crossed their path, and you do one little gesture. I constantly do this. I genuinely do. I help people whenever I see them. I pick up something they dropped. I buy them a coffee. I do all sorts of things. It's a simple thing, and it makes them smile, and it could have changed everything in their day.
Right.
And I just had the reverse happen to me the other day. I was having a really tough day, and I was really stuck with something. And I went somewhere because I didn't understand something. I said, "Oh, could you just help me?" And the woman didn't know, and she kind of snapped at me, like, how could you not know that? And I was like, and I stood there and I started to tear up, and I could tell she felt bad. And I said, thank you very much for your help. I really like that I didn't say I really like. I said, thank you for your help. I just needed to understand.
You ruined my day.
I didn't mean to, cause an issue. I just needed to find this information. And then I went to leave, and I turned back and I said, it's been a difficult day. I get choked up when I think about it.
Aww.
I said, it's been a difficult day. I said, so if you could just consider that next time you're talking to someone, because maybe they're having a difficult day. And it changed everything, because I didn't say it in a mean way. I just said it in a, could you please? And she looked at me, and and she welled up, and she was like, oh my God. And then we both smiled, and we're like, it's easy. She didn't mean to snap at me. She didn't know I was at breaking point. They were unrelated.
Nobody knows.
But our actions and our words affect people.
Yeah.
So always give them the best word. Always give them the smile. Always give them something to move on, because you may have made their day.
Yeah.
Okay? You may have made their day.
And after you get your haircut, after you jazz up your wardrobe, after you rewatch this video and you think, okay, what am I going to do to make 2022 the best? And you heard Chi Sam earlier say, don't do the same things you've always done. That can be simply it. Allow a little more patience. Don't be the person that has road rage. Everybody has road rage. Be different, So these are even the little things. Don't overcomplicate, right? All these little things, we're just going to go into it better. We're going to go into it positive. And you guys now have her guide. I know that you're going to click it. The links are right here in the description of this video. There's so many ways that you can bring positivity, not to toot my own horn again, our positivity into your 2022.
Yeah.
You can
absolutely
get her guide, her QiCast. You can find out your personal energy number to help with all the Feng Shui tips I give through every month, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on YouTube. And then also there's February Meditation Mastery. If you have always said you want to meditate, that's totally free. There will be zero selling. There's no upselling. It is purely because I want to help people get in a good habit with meditation. There will be no talking of selling or anything. So you guys have so many options.
You do.
To move forward. And thank you so much for joining me today.
And thank you so much for having me. I love all your work, and you do slightly different work we do the same work, but you do slightly different work. And I admire everything you're doing.
Thank you.
What you give out to people is amazing. I go looking for early in the morning. I go on Instagram. I go looking to see your videos. I just love them. Yeah, well, no, because you're so upbeat. You give simple tips. It's real quick and fast, and I love that. And that's what people need. We need to work together and boost each other. Okay, we can do this. We need to lift each other up in 2022.
Yeah, we're gonna be pouncing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's gonna be so fun. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Go get your haircut. Bye.